The following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah! Go Cowboys! This is Talkin Cowboys. Streaming live from the Dallas Cowboys World Headquarters at the Star in Frisco.
C.D. Lamb, touchdown. End zone, Jake Ferguson. Prescott keeps it, and he bangs it in for the touchdown.
And now your hosts, Isaiah Stanback, Patrik Walker, Josh Rodriguez, and Kyle Youmans.
Go! Go! Dallas Cowboys! It's the gold team of the senior pros. Let the whole world hear our bugles blow. Stand up! Stampede!
That's more like it. Not a victory Monday. It's more like a stalemate Monday. I'm a little confused as to what to call today on Talkin Cowboys, presented by Black Rifle Coffee Company, live from the Star in Frisco, Texas, in the SWBC Mortgage Studios. We've got Patrik Walker, Josh Rodriguez, Tommy Yarrish, Chris Beam in the back. I'm Kyle Youmans. 40-40.
A monotone Monday, if you will.
Yeah, a monotone Monday. That's a good one. I've slept just a tiny bit, not a lot, since it happened, and I still don't think I feel any better about what happened on the field at AT&T Stadium.
Yeah, I don't think you can feel better, right? There's no feeling good. There's no feeling bad. You're feeling mid. It's a mid-Monday. Mid-Monday, absolutely. Guys, first tie that I've experienced since a preseason game forever ago when I was just a little kid, basically watching the Cowboys. It's a young lad, if you will. What a weird.
It was a weird.
What a weird night.
Yeah.
What a weird night.
Got a fun stat for you here from our news and notes statistician, Chris Beam in the back.
Oh.
40-40.
Uh-huh.
Scoregami.
Yeah, I did see that.
Nice. Not terribly shocking because you usually don't see 80-point games that end in a tie, but nonetheless, fun little tidbit.
What. It's also the highest scoring, or the second highest scoring game that ended in a tie in NFL history since 1964. That was the last time.
What was the other?
It's hard to believe there's one that's higher scoring.
Boston Patriots and Oakland Raiders combined for 43-43 tie.
Oh, interesting.
Not by much.
I would have thought that the Jeffersons would have at least had
the Rochester Jeffersons.
Get the Jeffersons back in it.
At least had at least one tie.
They won all of their games.
You know what? That makes sense.
That's true.
That makes sense. Yeah, it was it was quite a ride. I was sitting here before the show looking at the win-loss line graph on Next Gen Stats, and that thing reads like cardiac arrhythmia. And for there to be no payoff after all of that is like, how are you supposed to feel? Like, the reason I have the tie on today with the casual shit, because I want the NFL to understand. You see how stupid this looks?
Yeah.
That's how you look right now, NFL. You are a professional league, and this is not soccer we're talking about. This is a professional American football
Yeah,
league.
brother. I'm all for the soccer hate.
But this is a professional, and that's not even a shade of soccer. That's just
What
how
an insane stray for soccer.
It's not a shade, because I love soccer. It's how,
I hate soccer.
But soccer comes with an expectation that games can end in draws. But when it comes to football, American football, winner or loser. That's what we need. Damn it, make football great again.
It's funny that you bring this up. In my notes, in my notes here, I put a number of different bullet points. I said impressed with the offense, but they weren't perfect. Unimpressed with the defense, but it wasn't all bad. You played it well enough to win the game, but you didn't. You made enough mistakes to lose the game, but you didn't. I think the only thing I can say for certain after watching that roller coaster of a game tonight, and this was written last night, and rewatching it tomorrow morning, is that the NFL should change its overtime rules and officially take ties out of football.
I do agree.
That's the only thing I can come away from that game and be completely satisfied with.
If you ask Jerry Jones after the game when they asked him, what do you think? A tie is a tie, right? And he goes, "That's the game.
It is the game. It's
That's
the
the game.
rules
That's
that
what we
have
have
been given."
He didn't have any problem with it. He didn't sway either way. He just said that the game is the game.
I can tell you what the problem with it. The players. So we're walking around the locker room. I asked George Pickens. I asked Jake Ferguson. We're asking these players, and you got a combination of two answers. Number one, that a lot of these players, if not all of them, have never been a part of a tie in a football game. And the other is that they didn't even realize that you could tie in an NFL football game.
Yeah.
Pickens said that. He was like, I didn't even know it. Jay Ferguson said, I didn't even know it. And
It's kind of another problem.
yeah, that's another problem is that the information is not being disseminated, right? Jake said, and I quote, Jake said, I could have gone another session, another quarter.
Yeah.
Because the guys thought that's what's going to happen after Green Bay kicked that field goal. They thought they were going to have another shot at it, but no, they didn't. But it was just a crazy game all the way down to the very last second, and I mean that literally, down to the very last second.
You got to let that last second off the board, man.
They weren't going to do that.
What are you doing? What are you doing?
No way.
Home field advantage doesn't exist.
Run the second, dude. Make the refs put the time back on.
Sneeze. It's just sneeze accidentally during that. What I miss? Game over.
Well, I think NFL officials run the clock.
Yeah, I don't think that's a
No, that's a home thing.
Maybe in college.
The home stadium is running the clock.
I want an answer to that. I'm curious.
In that case, if there were more time, the refs would have to put the time back on.
I find
So don't leave it up
the field,
As
but
if they were paying attention.
Leave it up to the refs to do.
Leave it up to the refs.
Yeah,
You don't leave a second on.
I find it hard to believe that it would
I'd have
be
to
a
go
third
back and
party.
look deep in. I think it'd be tough for that to happen. I would have to go deep in the bylaws of the NFL to figure that out, and I've never had to figure that out. So, like you said, maybe we'll go search for that.
Cook the books, guys.
It's rule like 56, Section A, Part 1, Part B.
Yeah, it's like down there somewhere.
Of course, Sanborn would be involved in the 1 second gate.
Before you guys get too into that, real quick, going back to the overtime thing.
Yeah.
I'm going to play devil's advocate here. I'm fine with ties. I'm fine with ties. I understand
Would be.
Okay, well.
I'm just kidding.
Well, yeah. Well, why do you feel
I
that way?
understand the competitive nature of, we need to decide a victor in this game. And I get it. I really do. Like last night is a game where you look at it and you say, man, I really wish that this one would have just been decided one way or the other. But at the same time, the game's got to end eventually. And I think that if you're looking at that point of the game, there were 3 hours and 45 minutes into playing. So you're essentially asking these guys to play 4+ hours of football, and that's just really not good for you in a 17-week season where you're just continually going out there and getting beat up and getting beat up and getting beat up with how physical of a league this is. So I think it's better for the players' health, and I understand that not everybody feels the same way, and I think recency bias with how last night went it will play into it too. But I'm totally fine with no. What's that?
This is the Isaiah hand raise.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So finish your thought, and then it's over to me.
No, I'm fine with ties in the regular season.
I have a problem with ties because I don't like participation trophies, and that's what that felt like. But also, I see your point about player safety, and I'll raise you Thursday night football.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah.
And I could sprinkle in a lot of other things like, hey, just have them fly over to Germany and down to Brazil and to Spain and then come back and have a
they were in
game
Dublin
very
this
next
weekend.
week.
Yeah,
Right.
Dublin looked fun.
Right. So, and I'm not saying it's not fun. What I'm saying is no one's going to sell me on a tie being okay because the league might view it as a player safety issue when they have so many other instances that I could point at, and they're less concerned about player safety. So no, the tie is. I'm not even saying that I would rather lose. So that's the crux of the argument. Would you rather lose or would you rather tie? I'd rather have an outcome that's definitive. That's what I would rather.
And I understand the point.
And I understand what you're saying too, but I think in terms of storyline, in terms of seriously.
No, I'm with you.
The cinematic view of the whole thing, a lot of people were coming into this saying like, okay, this is going to be this is going to test exactly how the trade went down. Who's the real winner? Who's the real loser? For it to end in a tie is probably the most cinematic, ambiguous, A24-esque ending that you could have because it says time will tell. this is not the last time we're going to play Green Bay. This is not the last time we're going to play Green Bay in our stadium.
Yeah.
It's a rivalry that will stand the test of time for years and years and years to come. There's no end in sight for football. This is just a chapter in the epic storybook that is the Dallas Cowboys and the Green Bay Packers. For me, it's unfulfilling. It is an unrequited, destiny that you had right there in your hands. It didn't fall through. It slipped through your fingertips. But in the end, it's just like it's more ammunition for the next time you go out.
And even to that point, I mean, your point is made on so many levels throughout this game, but I'll point out one particular thing. Who won the trade? The Packers or the Cowboys? You don't know, right? Because it's still completely ambiguous.
Exactly.
Down to the point of, was that a sack by Micah? Was it not a sack by Micah?
Exactly.
Like, that's how crazy the game was.
I didn't think it was.
I didn't think
he
it
was
was
falling forward like 2 yards before the line.
Right.
And I got to say, the guys who script this season of the NFL are cooking, all right?
I'll make it one even better. NFL OMG took the sack away from Micah.
Did they?
But NFL Jesus still
Put it on
has
there.
the sack.
Yeah.
So again.
Those are the 2 different live stats updates, by the way, for those at home.
So again.
So, yeah.
If
They're
that-
both NFL officials. So.
If that's Micah's sack against the Cow, okay, he can have that one. It's very anticlimactic, much like this game.
It did save the game because if he doesn't make that play,
I don't think
Dak's getting taken down.
But
I think he's running into the end.
I think that. I mean, the defender had gotten off.
I don't think he gets
receiver
in.
block.
It was
it was close.
It would have been close.
It would have been close,
I don't know
but
that he gets in though.
With a full head of steam trying to push Dak Prescott backwards,
He would have had a shot.
I think it would have been close.
I agree. He would have
And
shot. But
if you get to say the 1 yard line,
Sure.
that would have been what, 3rd and goal from the 1?
Yeah, you could
I
have snuck it in.
That's a lot easier than 3rd and goal from the 3. So
motion Dak out of the backfield, wide, direct snap, Javonte. Ooh, that was so.
at the end of the day, that Micah Parsons made a game-changing play in this game. And I think at the same time, though, you can give Dallas credit because for the most part, he was a non-factor all night.
Yeah.
I think they had a really good plan for him.
Tyler Guy.
Shouts out to Nate Thomas in the 4th.
Nate Thomas, Tyler Guyton, the chips from Jake Ferguson, and
Yes.
Devontae, shouts out.
Yeah, Terrence Steele. Really, the tackles I thought played much better than this game as a whole. Just went complete opposite of how I saw it. I didn't think Dallas had a chance in this game. I thought Green Bay was going to run them out of the building. Brock Hoffman, TJ Bass played well. The tackles, though, really was what stood out to me because Terrence Steele had a rough go of it last week in Chicago. So did Tyler Guyton at times. They handled Micah Parsons very well. Sure, they sent some help over that way, but even still, when they were one-on-one, I thought they did a good job against Micah. I'm surprised that Green Bay didn't work Parsons more on the interior.
Yeah.
I'm surprised they didn't attack Bass and Hoffman with him more.
I thought so, too.
I think they would have had a lot more success had they did that.
Maybe his back was bothering him.
And then he did go to the medical tent for a little bit. But he said after the game it was because I think they pulled him to check if he had a concussion. But he said he was holding his back. I have no idea anymore. And then, not just Micah, but really that whole pass rush. That was the Micah sack was the only sack that they recorded all night.
Yeah.
So Rashawn Gary was held in check. Edgerrin Cooper, who I was super high on throughout the week, is one of the best linebackers in football, young linebackers in football, held him in check and really would have been just that one play at the goal line with when Dak took off. If he's able to break through, that's a big what if. But at the same time, what can you do?
I got a bigger what if for you. What if this defense stops letting teams put up 40 or
5 straight scoring drives?
Yeah.
And that's really where I want to take this going into the next 2 segments because in a tie, there are good things and there are bad things. That's just plain and simple. It's going to be that way whether you win or lose too. But in this game, you've got kind of a split fan base. You've got a fan base that's excited that they didn't lose, but there's a fan base that said, you've got a chance like that to win the game. And you can put it on both the offense and on the defensive side. The defense gives up 40 points and could not stop a nosebleed late in that football game with those 5 straight scoring drives. But on the offensive side, even though they put up 40 points, they were put on the doorstep by one of the most incredible plays you've ever seen by Jalen Tolbert. Toe drag, catch, inbounds, down to the 5-yard line, 1st and goal. You've got all the momentum. And based off of what we just talked about, the Micah Parsons quote-unquote sack or whatever it ends up being, and then you don't get in, you have to kick a field goal, and that opens the door for Green Bay to drive the length of the field. There are a lot of moments in this game, and we're going to relive a lot of them. Usually we split this up, offense in the second segment, defense in the third segment when we review a game. This is just the good, the bad, and the ugly. So when we come back, we're going to talk a little bit about the bad. What happened that did not allow Dallas to win this football game? It could be on the defensive side, 40 points, or it could be on the offensive side. We'll talk about it when we come back with more Talking Cowboys right after this.
Every day begins with a promise to work hard and to build a future. That's why we're here, providing the tools, expertise, and John Deere equipment you have relied on for generations to help you get the job done right. We're with you. That's our promise to you, because no matter the project or the challenge you're facing,
we're with you. We're united.
If you're looking for fresh American roasted coffee that gives back, you need to head to your local grocery store and pick up a bag of Black Rifle coffee. That's right, America's coffee is now available in the coffee aisle of a grocery store near you. Black Rifle Coffee Company is veteran-founded with a mission to give back to those brave men and women who have served our nation. Every bag, box, or can you purchase helps support that mission. Head to your local grocery store and roast yourself some Black Rifle coffee today.
How's it going? You see that Cowboys game?
Oh, I watched. Been seeing some good things.
Totally. They have some talent.
Yup, some great talent.
And they got some fight.
Hoping this is the year.
Me too. Oh, I'm Cody, by the way.
I'm Travis.
Nice to meet you, Travis. Go Cowboys.
Go Cowboys!
Make a new friend based solely on their shirt choice. What would you like the power to do? Bank of America, the official bank of the Dallas Cowboys. Copyright 2025 Bank of America Corporation.
I'm home.
Hey, Mom, before you ask, I've done my homework and the dishwasher's unloaded.
Nice. Hey, can you...
Hey, hon, yes, I've got the finale ready to play. Here's your wine.
Wow.
Isn't it nice not having to ask? We think so. That's why if there's a network interruption, AT&T will proactively credit you for a full day of service, guaranteed. Credit for fiber downtime lasting 20 minutes or more, or for wireless downtime lasting 60 minutes or more caused by a single incident impact 10 or more towers. Restrictions and exclusions apply. See att.com/guarantee for details.
Back to Talkin' Cowboys.
Back here on Talking Cowboys, this segment is brought to you by Invisalign, the official smile of the Dallas Cowboys. Back alongside Patrick, Josh, Tommy, Chris Beam in the back. I'm Kyle Youmans. It's funny. I'm looking at some of these comments, Tommy, about the ties, and I wanted to bring up a point, or kind of back you up on one half of your point. I still don't like ties, plain and simple. I don't like them in any sport. I don't like them in any capacity. I would rather just have a winner or a loser. However, you did bring up a point of recency bias. After a game like that, where it's back and it's forth and it's crazy and it's unbelievable and it's an emotionally charged atmosphere with a great crowd, by the way, on both ends. It was an awesome crowd last night. It was loud. It was gross. It was intense. It was pretty fun. However, there have been some stinkers of games that have ended up in ties. Mm-hmm. I'm talking like 7-7, 10-10, just gross football games where you couldn't wait to get out of there. So I get why there's a rule in the regular season for it. You can't tie in the postseason because you've got playoffs. Right. And you got to have a winner and a loser.
And you also can't make the rule that was like, well, if they score more than 20, then let's keep it going. Come on.
You can't do that. So I get it. I understand it. And when it comes to player safety, they've already shown in other aspects they don't care. Right. They don't care about player safety.
No, especially when Dallas plays a Sunday night game and plays a Thursday night game. Like
turns right around.
Come on, dude. What are we doing?
So I just wanted to back up half of your point there.
No, and I get it. And like I said,
like a tie.
Thank you. As a competitor, yes. And I mean, in a game like that, who doesn't want to see that game finish?
Everyone wanted.
Everybody wants to see that game finish.
Upset.
Literally everybody on the field, everybody in the press box, everybody in the owner's suite. Like, of course, you want to see that game end. But at the end of the day, there's not been a 30-plus point tie where both teams have scored 30 or more points since 2014.
Wow.
So you've got 6-6, 27-27, 21-21, 29-29, 27-27, 23-23, 16-16, 20-20, 20-20. So, I mean, it just kind of is what it is. You would really just be dragging it out, and as the game runs longer, the guys get more tired, and the quality of play starts to go down. Although last night the quality of play was great all night.
It's fun.
I don't care.
Depending on what side of the ball.
That's a good rebuttal.
You are paid a lot of money to do what you're being asked to do, and we hear this all the time from more of the humble NFL players, where they'll say, you know what, yes, this is a hard gig, but at the same time, when you compare it to blue collar workers, those who are running 12-hour shifts, construction jobs, and graveyard shifts and things like that. So to that point, this is a game, and yes, it is brutal on the body, but it is a game, and this is what you get to do, and this is what you sacrifice to be able to do. So go do it. Go do it until the victor is declared. I am too much of a competitor to accept a tie. Like I can't compute it. I'm not saying I would rather lose, because I would rather win. Yeah. But in a loss, at least I can sit back and say, okay,
where do we get?
I can use that fuel as motivation to go and get the win the next time, as opposed to saying, because what did I just walk away with? After that 3.5 or 4 hours of work, I walked away with essentially nothing but the bruises. Right? That's all I walked away with, the bruises and the paycheck. I want my win. So
based on that, we're going to split up these next two segments. This segment is going to be like we lost the game. Plain and simple. We're going to act like Dallas lost the game. This didn't go our way. This team has a lot to fix, which is exactly what's the case anyways. And then in the next segment, we're going to look at the good side of it and say, oh, wow, this was all very positive, as in we won the game. But that's not the case. It was 40-40, Cowboys and Packers. Let's start with the bad. Where do you guys want to go with it? Because, I mean, I'm looking at tackling. That was big time.
Missed tackles was absolutely
I'm going penalties.
Tommy's got the Isaiah hand raise.
Oh, sorry. I did do one finger.
That's okay.
Hey, Beamer, do we have like sad music or something that can play as I read this?
I know a sounder that could be used here.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
So just cue the somber music in your mind as I read you these Green Bay
world's smallest violin.
Yeah, second half offensive drives. First of the third quarter, 9 plays, 76 yards, touchdown.
Oh.
Into the fourth quarter, 8 plays, 70 yards, touchdown. 10 plays, 80 yards, touchdown. 7 plays, 39 yards.
Can I guess?
Field goal.
Oh.
Close. And then in overtime, 13 plays, 64 yards, field goal. So the last 5 drives of the game, Green Bay scores 3 touchdowns, 2 field goals, and Dallas is just essentially begging their offense to come and save the day, and they did.
Bail them out at every.
The Cowboys scored on all but one of their second half possessions, except for the first one was the only one that they didn't score on.
That was a big possession.
That was a great, that was a big possession, and they had a 12-play drive, a 14-play drive, the 4-play drive on the touchdown to Pickens in the fourth quarter, and then a 10-play drive in overtime. This defense, this defense is.
They needed one stop.
It's very concerning. I think I don't think these linebackers have played very well. Leofau had a costly penalty last night. Kenneth Murray getting banged up. Jack Sanborn just seemed to be a step too late on a lot of things. And then just the unfortunate bounce off of his back. The ball catapulted downward instead of going up for the half a second it needed to.
That was wild.
I thought for as difficult as it seems to fathom after Jordan Love throws for 337 yards and 3 touchdowns, I thought the corners played better than they did against Chicago and the Giants. Maybe. Somewhat.
They didn't give up the big play other than the big completion to Matthew Golden early in the game.
Yep.
And then Romeo Doubs just went ham in the red zone, and that was really about it.
Yeah, Doubs had himself a day.
I think people were just scared of the helmet.
Yeah, that too. the
like,
Guardian Cat.
Get out of this guy's way.
No,
he looks like Toad. Like it looks like one of those.
There was
he was out there dropping bananas.
There was none more obscene than Savion Williams' helmet. I mean, he looked like Aaron Rodgers souped up with that thing. Like Aaron Rodgers has a cranium of a helmet, but man, Savion Williams was massive.
The big thing too about third downs, glaring third down problem. That's glaring. 10 for 14 was Green Bay on third down.
And even
the Cowboys are 4 for 11.
In overtime, when it's 4th and 6, there's no vote of confidence on my end saying that we're going to stop that. Absolutely not.
I was shocked they got to 4th and 6, to be completely honest. Because of how good Green Bay had been in the money downs.
Frankly, and I wanted to tweet at one point, it's like, why can't we just play overtime defense all the time? Because I thought we were going to get a stop. But when it was 4th and 6, I was like, there's no way we're stopping this. Yeah. And they just kept rolling. And one thing you saw early in the first half, the run defense was great. They were able to stop the run. They were able to stop it up. Josh Jacobs did not kill you in the first half, but then the more and more the defense started to wear down. Yeah. Josh Jacobs was tearing off 8 yards, 10 yards, 12 yards, and you're looking at it like, where, God, like just get off the field, please, for the love of God, for yourselves at this point. Give yourselves a breather. Give Dak some time to go out there. But at least for me, the missed tackles is just the worst culprit of them all. Marist, as much as we've been championing him, and I think he made a few excellent plays.
Yeah, but brain fart.
That was bad.
I think he had 3 missed tackles on the day.
Can I bring up another name in the same category? Same thing. I thought Donovan Ezraku played his best game last night.
Absolutely.
I said that.
But he made a stupid mistake and gave a free first down to Green Bay.
He did.
He just forearmed to the face mask while the guy was on the ground.
Yeah.
That's a dumb mistake.
Yes.
And he played his tail off. I even had a conversation up in the press box, and somebody from the football ops side of things was saying, man, Donovan's playing his tail off, playing really well. A different wordage, but playing his butt off.
It seemed like he had started to figure some things out.
And he looked like he was finding what we need him to be on that defensive front. But to make a mistake like that, and then the same thing with Maris Leofau, overrunning an angle. Then he makes a great play on the special team side of things and flattens.
Yeah.
That was a tone setter.
Also, Tommy Golden had like the cartoon birds.
Yeah.
Head after that hit, like he absolutely laid wood.
But then he has the late hit where it was pretty obvious 2 or 3 steps had gone by,
unnecessary,
ball down on the ground. And I would love to hear his actual reenactment of that. Did he think the ball was caught? Did he not see it the right way? Either way, it was not a good foul.
I'm interested. For me, though, it's everything you guys are saying, but. And stop me if you've heard this before, self-inflicted wounds. Mm-hmm. You're basically detailing some
especially
of the
in the
worst
first half
ones.
too.
Right, some of the worst ones. Cowboys were, accepted penalties. 11 accepted, and accepted is the key word.
They were big.
For 95 yards. There were more flags, obviously, than the penalties that were accepted. Okay, because they had some double penalties going on there, like the unsportsmanlike conduct, which also happened with the defensive holding, which negated the defensive holding. So
12 men on the field 12 men took away a Trayvon Diggs interception.
I didn't have a chance to check. I believe that's the second time this season through the first 4 games that the Cowboys have been flagged for 12 men on the field in one capacity or another.
It was Leofau couldn't get off in time.
Was it?
That's a coaching thing. 12 men on the field is a coaching thing for me.
Yeah.
So whether it be
that's communication yet again.
Communication, whether it be and don't even start on that, because that touchdown with Elam as the target, how he's looking around like what's going. Was that a miscommunication?
I don't love that. I don't love the sort of blame being passed around when it's just, again.
But you're talking about it in real time.
You're seeing it in real time, and you're seeing communication errors still in week 4. And we've been having this conversation for 3 weeks now about their communication. It just feels more and more like the defense can't get right.
I tell you what, football gods owe me, because this weekend with these boneheaded penalties from players that I hold in high regard, so whether it be Georgia against Bama, why would you dive on top of the pile when it's already over? And then Maris Leofau, we know what Leofau was capable of. We saw it last year as a rookie, basically flew out of the gate. We've been begging for Maris to be unleashed. They start him this game. He's making plays on special teams, and then he makes a critical error at that juncture in the game to extend that drive, which helped impact the game negatively for the Cowboys ultimately. But while we're circling that, and we're circling the touchdown against Elam, and we're circling Ezraku, who had a fantastic game, his best game as a rookie through his first 4 games, and then he has the black eye because of that particular penalty. It just felt like there was always something. So that same logic extends to the offense as well, because offensively, they dropped 40 again at home. They're cooking. George Pickens without CeeDee Lamb, he gives you 130 plus with 2 touchdowns. Dak Prescott,
go Dogs, you can't say it.
You said it. so I don't have to. 4 total touchdowns for Dak Prescott. No interceptions. 3 of those were passing touchdowns. Over 300 yards. They're cooking. Turpin is getting involved. Shoddy pulling out the just going deep in the bag. Ryan Flanoy, he's making plays as well.
Devontae Turpin is killing.
I said it. Jalen Tolbert, for as maligned as he is in this fan base, again, that play, phenomenal. However, we're sitting here and we're giving all of this rightful praise to the offense, and they still converted only 4 of their 11 third down attempts.
And they didn't punch it in from 5 yards out.
Correct.
To the football game.
So, again, it's one of those this game was tailor-made for a tie, no pun intended. It was tailor-made for a tie because for all the good, there's the bad.
Yeah.
And for all the bad, there's the good. And then where do you land? Right smack in the middle.
This is an interesting stat, and I'm going to give credit to Dante Koplowitz Fleming on X. Teams with 40 points or more and no turnovers were 300-0 at home in the Super Bowl era. 300-0.
They're still undefeated.
They are still undefeated. It's 300-0-1
well,
now.
So are the Packers at AT&T Stadium.
Yeah, that's true.
They are 6-0.
300.
And I'll say this.
Feels like
See, this is what I hate about ties is now I have to say 300-0-1 and 6-0-1. The next time the Packers come to town, say, yeah, they're undefeated, but hey, that tie happened that one time. Who cares? Give us a winner.
That's what I'm saying. And also, shouts out to Jake
that.
Ferguson getting that monkey off his back, getting into the end zone. That was his first time getting a touchdown since previous to last season. And guess who it was against? Green Bay Packers.
Green Bay, yeah.
3 times.
We're talking about the bad, Patrick. We're talking about the bad.
To round out our...
We lost this game in this segment.
And won it.
Really quickly, though.
The next segment.
if we're continuing on the bad really quickly.
Yes.
Maris, that wasn't great. He didn't give you... Just the boneheaded mistake, obviously.
Still need
unacceptable, right?
Still need about this.
Another thing that has been unacceptable now for 3 weeks is the play of Jack Sanborn.
Thank you.
I think at this point, because Maris hasn't had as many snaps as a Jack Sanborn, you're going to get those mistakes. You're going to see that.
He's overzealous.
He's overzealous. He's happy to be in there. He's trying to overplay. But when you're looking at Jack Sanborn play, man, he is, for lack of a better term, he's just really slow. I mean, the athletic ability of Sanborn at this point is not helping you.
I agree.
It's rough, and I want to be as respectful as possible, but what are we doing?
Well, you had Shamar James active for the first time, so let's use Shamar James more. And again, and I know a lot of people in the moment after that penalty by Maris, I get it. There's no excusing that. That was just horrendous. But I still want him to see more playing time because you're never going to see that mistake again from Maris Leofau. Never.
Just 2 quick ones to wrap up our bad talk segment. Tyler Smith really had a struggle today, like yesterday. A couple penalties
they were eyeing him hard too.
Yeah, a couple of penalties that ended up getting negated or declined or whatever. But it was not a great game for Tyler Smith. Which, I mean, a bad game from Tyler Smith is a usually pretty good game for the average offensive lineman in the NFL.
Yeah,
but nonetheless, that was
still a rough game.
Still a rough game, and the penalties are certainly something that's kind of been uncharacteristic of him, at least from my perspective before I started covering
He
this
struggled
team.
with it a little bit in college coming out of Tulsa, but it wasn't like a glaring thing like it was with Guyton.
Right.
Because Guyton, you kind of knew what you were getting when you drafted him. You were going to get some holds.
Yeah.
And Tyler Smith never really had – there was a couple in his rookie season, if I remember correctly, where he was held or he was holding multiple times, but he's kind of gotten away from that.
And then the last thing, I think, what did you say was 4 of 11 on third down?
4 of 11.
4 of 11.
I don't think – I mean, yes, the offense needs to convert on some of those, but your defense isn't doing you any favors with some of this field position.
Sure.
So
I agree. And that's what makes it – and you made the point earlier that the offense is being asked, rather fairly or unfairly, they're being asked to put their capes on and save the day every single time. And I personally, I think that's unfair. I think that they should be allowed to not be perfect and simply be elite, because you can be elite and not perfect. Like, that's what we saw last night from this offense. Elite, but not perfect. If you're asking your offense to be perfect every single game to win, you're not going to the playoffs.
You're asking your offense to score 40 points and maybe you'll win the game.
Yeah.
And make that so
what?
So they have to score.
What?
So they have to score 50 to help guarantee that you win the game.
Apparently.
That's ungood.
Yeah.
Dak Prescott is playing some of, if not,
he's segment 3. That's all segment 3.
The best football of his entire career, and he's kind of being held up.
Before we move on, I'm seeing a lot of comments it may just be from the same person. I'm not entirely sure. They were talking about the Maris Leah foul call on the late hit. They said it wasn't as egregious. In the building, it was pretty egregious.
In real time, it was bad.
It was like
bad.
Give him like 2 steps, but he took 7 steps.
Yeah, on TV, I can see because you're like, oh, they're playing it in slow-mo. Even in the building, in the press box with everybody there, it was pretty egregious.
You heard the collective gasp when he hit him before the flag went for the flag. He hit him, and everybody was like, "Oh, come on!" And then the flag.
Feel free to disagree. I know there's probably going to be differing opinions on that, but as a fan base, I think you can look at it and say, "Yeah, it was pretty egregious."
And
All
I
right,
still want him to play more.
So now the bad is out of the way. This was a tie. You did not lose. So we're going to talk about what was positive, and I have a feeling there's going to be a lot of Dak Prescott, George Pickens talk in this upcoming segment when we come back with more Talkin Cowboys after this.
I'm home. Hey, Mom, before you ask, I've done my homework and the dishwasher's unloaded.
Nice. Hey, can you...
Hey, hon, yes, I've got the finale ready to play. Here's your wine.
Wow.
Isn't it nice not having to ask? We think so. That's why if there's a network interruption, AT&T will proactively credit you for a full day of service, guaranteed. Credit for fiber downtime lasting 20 minutes or more, or for wireless downtime lasting 60 minutes or more caused by a single incident impacting 10 or more towers. Restrictions and exclusions apply. See att.com/guarantee for details.
If you're looking for fresh American roasted coffee that gives back, you need to head to your local grocery store and pick up a bag of Black Rifle coffee. That's right, America's coffee is now available in the coffee aisle of a grocery store near you. Black Rifle Coffee Company is veteran-founded with a mission to give back to those brave men and women who have served our nation. Every bag, box, or can you purchase helps support that mission. Head to your local grocery store and roast yourself some Black Rifle coffee today.
Welcome back into Dear Doctor, the show where I answer life's questions with an ice-cold can of Dr. Pepper. Sheila, let's hear from our next caller, would you?
Dear Doctor, my friend supported me during a tough time, but what's the right gift that says, thanks for being a shoulder to cry on?
Okay, this one's easy. I say give her a delicious Dr. Pepper. Nothing says, thanks, girl, better than a one-of-a-kind soda. Yes, any Dr. Pepper flavor will do. Now, just a reminder that I don't need to be a real doctor to know that Dr. Pepper is the one you deserve.
It's the official men's skincare brand of the Dallas Cowboys, Jack Black. And right now, Cowboys fans can get 15% off their $75 order. Plus, because every deal needs a playmaker, your order will include a free 5-piece skincare set and free shipping. The Jack Black Playmaker is 4 of Jack's favorites and a full-sized intense therapy lip balm. Make a play for the playmaker at getjackblack.com/Cowboys with the code CowboysVIP. That's getjackblack.com/Cowboys with the code Cowboys VIP.
Back to Talkin Cowboys.
Back here on Talkin Cowboys, final segment of a tie talking. We're talking ties today with Patrik Walker, Josh Rodriguez, Tommy Yarrish, Chris Beam in the back. I'm Kyle Youmans. All right, gentlemen, we have our comment of the day. Would you like to have our
hit it?
All right, Phil. Excuse me. Phil said, "Breaking news: the Packers just converted on another third down."
Ouch.
Just now.
Yeah.
So now they're 11 for 15.
Twist the knife.
I just thought it was funny.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
And they scored another touchdown in the second half in overtime.
Hey, chill out.
But it hurts, Kyle, and I don't like it. We didn't lose that game.
We did.
Prove me wrong. We didn't lose.
We did not lose. The Cowboys did not lose.
To quote the great Rosie Perez, sometimes when you win, you also lose.
Yeah.
And sometimes when you lose, you actually win.
Yeah.
And sometimes when you tie, you actually win or lose. If you know the quote, you know the quote.
Let's talk about the winning side, I guess. You got to start with 4, right?
You got to start with 4.
He's playing his best football of his career, I think.
Is anybody in the NFL playing a higher brand of quarterback right this second than
perhaps Josh Allen?
Perhaps
maybe.
Josh, but that's the only one I'm willing to.
Because you're not seeing it from Lamar.
Absolutely.
You're not seeing it from Patrick Mahomes.
C.J. Stroud, none of
right
those
now,
guys. Jared Goff, no.
It did kind of get going yesterday, but
as
far
over
as four games,
over 4 games.
As far as 4 games, no.
Maybe Justin Herbert, but it was a bad day for them yesterday.
See, he played poorly yesterday.
And we're not
Against the
saying
Giants.
necessarily that he is better than those quarterbacks. I'm not saying that either. But right now, as we sit here, he is your MVP of the team. There's no doubt about it.
Oh, yeah.
Just far and beyond keeping you in the game right now. Granted, you don't have a winning record, and I think that is in a large part due to the defense. But Dak Prescott is playing lights out. He's exactly what you would pay $60 million for a quarterback to do. And Jerry was talking about it yesterday. He's indispensable, and Micah wasn't. That to me is just clear. Just looking at what what Dak did yesterday and what Micah said about Dak. He's like, if he wasn't on his P's and Q's, this would have been a long day.
Mm-hmm.
And Dak was.
And Dak was making all the throws. He was making them.
First quarter was a little rocky.
It was. But they picked up. Also, shouts out to Wanye Thomas and Marquise Bell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're talking about the
Got
good.
you back in the game.
We're talking about the good. This isn't even a tie without those 2 points.
Yeah.
Okay. The Cowboys could not get on the board. They could not break through that goose egg. And what happens? You get a block on a point after attempt by Wanye Thomas and Marquise Bell, the undrafted stepbrothers from 2022, who both have clawed and scratched to try to get playing time, basically on the same arc. Those two combo pack, pull up 2 points.
It was cool.
It was one of the best things that you would see, just fun. And it, like you said, it was a jolt. But then, and that jolt translated to Dak Prescott and the offense getting the ball rolling. Questions about, could George Pickens step up and consistently be that guy and that target? Could you target him 14, 15 times?
Hell yeah, you can.
Yes, you can. And he's going to deliver. And those targets don't have to be one-on-one coverage either. The trust required for Dak Prescott to throw the ball he threw deep left side into double coverage, knowing that George Pickens was probably going to come up with it, and is rewarded with that trust.
Guys, you scored 40 points without CeeDee Lamb.
That's wild.
You did.
Let that sink in a little bit. Like, I know we were having the conversation, is George Pickens, can he possibly fill that? That's 1B. That's what a 1B does.
Is that good?
That's pretty darn good.
That's pretty darn good.
That's great, Bob.
That's great, Bob.
Remember when we were talking about wide receivers in the draft, and we were talking about free agent options this summer, and then they made the trade for George Pickens. One of the comments that this front office made, and a member of this front office made to one of us here in the studio, was we needed to find a guy that if CeeDee Lamb is either unavailable or not playing a high brand of football, that can go for 130 or more.
Yeah.
Or I think it was 145. Either one. He showed he can do that.
Yeah.
134 and 2 tutties. Unbelievable performance. And he did so in the highest moments of the game, too.
Yes.
The catch and double coverage. The catch and double coverage was phenomenal. Then he catches the touchdown pass going into the halftime break to put you up by 3. He makes the play.
Routed his guy up.
Exactly. He made the play to avoid the tackle and get back inside and then barrel his way past the pylon on the left sideline to get in to put you up by 3 again in the waning moments of regulation. George Pickens did everything and more for this football team yesterday, and it was Dak Prescott throwing him the rock.
And really quickly, and then we'll hop back to this. The defense, we kept it to the defense as far as the bad segment is concerned. Shouts out to James Houston, because that George Pickens touchdown going into halftime doesn't happen. There's no shot for the Cowboys to have a chance to try to make that touchdown if James Houston doesn't get the strip sack fumble against Jordan Love. So shouts out to James Houston. He did a thing again for another consecutive week. But again, now Dak Prescott, George Pickens. But it's also the fact that the other guys got involved. We saw more of Kevontae Turpin. You love that. And Tommy was sitting next to me. I could barely contain myself when they started getting Ryan Flanoy involved in the game.
Yeah.
You start getting Flanoy involved, now we're cooking with some fish grease.
Well, okay. You bring up Ryan Flanoy. He had a great game. But there's one player in particular that I really need to apologize to because I've been very critical of him so far this year.
You have the floor.
Jalen Tolbert. What a game. What a game. Like, just absolutely there when you need him, and he was clutch in every pass that he had thrown to him. All the respect in the world to Jalen Tolbert. He really, really showed out yesterday. And I will crow for me today because he played great.
A couple things. I really think that this team is 0-4 if it's not for Dak Prescott.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like I said, Dak Prescott's playing the best football of his career, and he's not getting any help from his defense. that's the only reason why the Cowboys are 1-2-1 is because of number 4. And they're number 1 in yards a game for offense, 404 yards a game. Number 1 in passing offense, 281 yards a game. He's leading the league in passing. He has played his best ball, and I think you tip your cap to him. And really, I think one thing we haven't really talked about a lot is Brian Schottenheimer called a great game yesterday.
Yeah,
I thought.
Give credit.
It's bad.
I thought he called a good game, but really what kept standing out to me was it seemed like every time there was a third down play or a longer second down play that Dak Prescott was finding a way to move the chains late in the game. You think about the crosser over the middle to Flanoy. There was a Tolbert over the middle. There was a Turpin, I think, for a first down too. So really, when they needed to hit the big plays the most, I know we talked about 4 of 11 on third down. When they needed to move the chains, when they needed to push downfield, I think they did last night. And so you tip your cap to Brian Schottenheimer in the offense for coming through there. Javonte Williams, I think you talked about Josh Jacobs kind of wearing on the Cowboys defense in the second half. Javonte Williams, 11 carries, 56 yards and a touchdown in the second half. 5.1 yards a carry.
What was his total carry?
4.3.
I think he averaged 4.3 yards a carry. He finished with 20 carries for 85 yards. So really most of that production... What can
this guy do to get to 100? Jeez.
Most of that production came in the second half, and I'll admit I was a guy that in the offseason I was like, man, I don't know if this team moving on from Rico Dowdle is the right move. Javonte Williams has proven me wrong. I'm sharing some of that crow with you, Josh, because he has played very well to start the season, and
he has been the most physical running back that you've had since DeMarco Murray.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean,
he flows like that, and he hits with that same level of physicality, in my opinion. You disagree?
I think Zeke was pretty nasty. Peak Zeke was pretty freaking nasty. He was both athletic, fast, and he wanted to run over.
I think it was more finesse
and run through you.
I think it was more finesse for Zeke. This guy's straight power, and I did not expect that out of his stature, and he's proven me wrong. Like I said, he's running with the same physicality that you saw from.
I mean, I like
Marco
it though.
Murray.
I don't want to take that away from I'm channeling peak Zeke, and that was nasty.
Peak Zeke was nuts. The conversation that I had with Nate Newton last night, he compared him to Marshawn Lynch. He compared him to beast mode in terms of physicality. He said they're not the same back. They're different sizes. They're different body types. But he was like, the way that he runs the football angry is something that is something that you haven't had on this team.
And just to argue the Zeke point really quick, I feel like more of Zeke's highlights were sort of like finesse, like hurtling. And
that was only because those were the more fun highlights when he's jumping over guys. But
he bowled over some people, no doubt.
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely. But I'm saying, like, since DeMarco Murray, I've not seen an aggressive running attack like this.
He's playing like he played his rookie year in Denver.
Yeah.
And
it's almost like he's healthy or something.
Well, yeah. Granted, he came back from he came back from a devastating knee injury, so it's certainly a lot easier to play that way. But special teams is something that I think when John Fossil was here, just because he was so creative and things like that, we really paid more attention to the third phase of the game. Third phase of the game was a major reason why the Cowboys were able to keep this a tie last night. I think back to that 45-yard kickoff return from Kevontae Turpin before that final drive in the fourth quarter.
Yep.
What happens if he doesn't get that? So that's why you have a guy like that back there, and I think they made the right move. And you guys correct me if I'm wrong, if I missed this. I think this was the first game this season where it was Turpin by himself back there. They had 2 returners. It was usually Turpin and Tolbert that were back there, and teams would kick it to one side, and they would obviously kick it away from Turpin because you don't want that guy to touch the ball.
Yep.
So they put 10 up and had Turpin back there, which I think they should have done from the start.
Agreed.
I don't think you want to give any other team another option, but Kevontae Turpin came through for them when they needed him to late in that game, and then of course the block extra point changed the game too and completely shifted momentum going forward. But yeah, then defensively, just to harp more on James Houston, he's your best pass rusher. He is the best pass rusher on this roster, and they picked him up on the first day of practice at training camp.
I agree with
that is both a great thing for the Cowboys evaluating the talent that they see that's available, and also a very poor thing considering how much they thought of the defensive end depth that they've got. It's if that's the case, then you've got some tough questions to ask yourself.
Yeah, and remember, it was James Houston and Jadeveon Clowney, the two new additions as edge rushers that helped combine on that strip sack that helped you at the end of the second.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Kyle. There was a podcast that films in this very studio that just last week said they wanted to see Jadeveon and James.
Yeah, you did say that. Yeah.
Oh. Yeah. Okay. Was it Talkin Cowboys?
It was Talkin Cowboys.
Alrighty.
We've got to get out of here. Before, I want to give one more quick note. Because I want to see if you guys agree here. The way that Dak Prescott is playing reminds me of the situation Joe Burrow had last year. And he's not getting the same amount of love Joe Burrow did.
Because it's Dak Prescott?
Because it's Dak. Joe Burrow and the Bengals were 1-3 to start the year. In that time period, Joe Burrow was completing 71% of his passes. He had 978 yards throwing, 7 touchdowns, and 3 turnovers. Dak Prescott, right now at 1-2-1, has completed 73% of his passes, has thrown for over 1,100 yards, has thrown for 6 touchdowns, rushed for another, so 7 total touchdowns. He's thrown 3 interceptions, so 3 turnovers. He hasn't lost a fumble. Burrow had 1 interception. He had 2 fumbles.
So you're saying?
So I'm saying Dak is playing better right now than Joe Burrow did there in that start that the Cincinnati Bengals had last year, and he's not getting the credit for it from a national standpoint.
You know why?
I just want to give the facts there.
You know why.
First 4 games, straight comparison between the two, and I would argue Dak had a tougher schedule too to go up against. All right, we've got to get out of here. When we come back tomorrow, you're giving us the calls, 888-855-2297. It is a Talkin' Tuesday. I'm sure you'll have plenty to talk about tomorrow morning. For Patrik "No-C" Walker, Josh Rodriguez, Tommy Yarrish, Chris Beam in the back, I'm Kyle Youmans saying so long from Talkin' Cowboys. We'll see you tomorrow.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys? Yeah!